Pakistan is in the middle of a fresh crisis. With its economy already in tatters, now a political crisis is brewing as police in Lahore prepare to arrest former Pak Prime Minister Imran Khan. Already supporters and cops have clashed. Tear gas shells and water cannons have been used, and Imran Khan has made a dramatic appeal to his supporters to continue their fight even if he is killed. So what is the ruckus all about? Imran Khan is accused of retaining illegally and profiteering from gifts he received when he was Prime Minister. The Toshakhana scam, as it's being called, involves gifts worth 100 million in Pakistani currency like Rolex watches, diamond watches, cufflinks, etc. that Imran was gifted, then bought at a nominal price, because you actually have to give away everything you get as gifts in an official position. And then after buying them at very low values, he actually sold these to make a cool profit of 58 million. Now, some context here. He's not the only Pakistan Prime Minister to keep gifts received in their official capacity instead of turning it over to the Toshakhana, which literally means treasure house. Asif Ali Zardari and Nawaz Sharif have also pocketed gifts from BMWs to Rolexes at a fraction of the original cost. The investigations against Imran Khan picked up speed after he was deposed in April 2022, and this Monday an arrest warrant was issued for him. The Sessions judge has instructed the police to present him before the court on the 18th of March. So the arrest could take place at any time. Unsurprisingly, Imran refuses to go quietly.
मैं तो अपनी सारी जिंदगी जंग लड़ी और लड़ता रहूंगा, लेकिन अगर मुझे कुछ होता है या जेल में जाता हूं या मार देते हैं, तो आपने ये साबित करना है कि इमरान खान के बगैर भी ये कौम जदोजहद करेगी और ये बदतरीन गुलामी इन चोरों की और ये जो एक आदमी फैसले कर रहा है इस मुल्क के, ये कभी आप कबूल नहीं करेंगे.
All right, so what does this mean? Will Imran go quietly? What will be the outcome of his arrest? Michael Kugelman, South Asia Senior Associate at the Wilson Center, is with me on the show this evening. I'm speaking with Bharat Karnad, Strategic Affairs expert, and Tahir Malik, Pak journalist. He's actually joining us from Islamabad. Mr. Malik, let me begin with just getting a sense of what the mood there is locally. Is Imran likely to be arrested soon? And does that mean that his supporters will unleash violence?
I think Imran Khan has showed his weakness that he avoids being arrested and he has fear of imprisonment. And it is said in the politics that never show your weakness to the enemy. So he talks about against corruption, rule of law, and good governance. But when it comes to submitting before law or appearing before court, he avoids and he creates a drama. Although Pakistan has failed to create a fair justice system, and we have seen that not only Imran Khan, but our checkered political history states that a number of prime ministers have been disqualified, they have been victimized, and they have been victim of unfair accountability process. But Imran Khan is the only exception where he defies law and he fails to appear before court. All the other prime ministers, even Prime Minister Bhutto, who was hanged, or who was disqualified, or Benazir Bhutto with little kids, she appeared from one corner of the country to another corner, appeared before court. So here is a person who seeks that he's a Alice in Wonderland. He says that how can I be appearing before court because I am different from others? So that when it comes to rule of law, actually he seeks exceptions.
Interesting, name for or a description for Imran Khan, like Alice in Wonderland. Michael Kugelman, I wonder what you make of it, because he's been out of power for a while. He's been trying to, garner support, and now is facing these very serious corruption charges of literally dipping his hand in the cookie jar of the treasure house, so to speak, at a time when his country is reeling from economic crisis.
Yeah, and what I find notable is that this is not the first time that Pakistani police have said they're going to arrest him. There have been several cases over the last few months that ended up being false alarms. This time appears to be more serious because, as these images, these visuals show, the police look like they mean business this time. So the question is, why wasn't he arrested earlier? And I think one explanation could be that the police and the government wanted to try to test the reaction of Khan supporters to see how strongly they would try to resist or respond to reports of his arrest, just to plan for what appears to be playing out today, when the police appear to mean business. So, I really, if he were to be arrested today, quite frankly, I don't think that he would be arrested for long. I imagine he would be set out on bail relatively soon. I do think that the state continues to, at least on some levels, handle Khan with kid gloves. I mean, if there were other people of his ilk, former prime ministers, folks like that, I imagine he would have been arrested more quickly, or they would have been arrested more quickly. So I think that the state in Pakistan does recognize that he has a very large, impassioned support base, and they want to be careful about that. But the longer he holds out, the longer he goes without voluntarily giving himself up to the police, that's going to fire up his support base even more. I think that, if he's forcibly removed from his home, that's going to fire up his support base a lot more than if he were to just walk out voluntarily into a police car. So, I think that a confrontation could be coming. Hopefully everything will remain peaceful.
Yeah, Mr. Bharat Karnad, do you think that Imran Khan doesn't want it to sort of remain peaceful? If you see his message from earlier this evening, apart from the perfunctory "let's keep peace," etc., there seems to be no way in which he wants to calm down tempers. He's saying keep fighting on even if I'm killed, and that's the kind of messaging which is coming. Are his supporters sort of becoming his political shield?
Well, basically, I think he's trying to, shall we say, enlarge his envelope of action. I mean, he has very limited options, really. Once he realized that the army was not behind him, and he tried desperately hard to, again, regain the army's patronage, failing which is when he decided, well, I have nothing to lose, and let me go up against the regime of Shahbaz and so on, and the coalition government, because it is not very popular. It's been responsible, as the people see it, for the inflation and the other problems the country has faced. And he thinks that any which way the political pie is cut, when the elections are called, he will sort of romp home very easily to victory. And that's correct. Generally, I think the Shahbaz regime has so alienated the Pakistani people that they will literally hoist Imran into power. But that, in a sense, requires the Pakistan Army's concurrence, as it were. And that I am not sure is forthcoming anymore, because they see that this guy cannot be trusted not to mobilize the people against the army. He keeps mentioning the army in all phrases, but in actual word, without naming the army, he talks about the establishment and the rest of the structure in Pakistan, ruling structure that's against him, and that his supporters will have to fight that particular establishment, etc. So these are fighting words, and the Pakistani army, I don't think, will tolerate this kind of, shall we say, reaction from Imran Khan and his PTI support base.
So, there is this very interesting history of all corruption charges which emerge against Pak prime ministers the moment they're out of power. It has happened time and again. But the moment they lose power, all the corruption charges emerge against them. And, we're showing you that list on your screen. None of them have, so to speak, escaped it. The difference here, Tahir Malik, seems to be that Imran Khan has not given up. He is very sure that, he will make it back to power. Like our experts are saying on the panel, does he actually enjoy the popular support in Pakistan right now?
Yes, because the performance of the present government, in terms of economic vulnerabilities and food inflations, have damaged them, and it has costed them politically. But having said that, we can say that the military believes that they can politically exclude Imran Khan, as they have done in the past in the case of Nawaz Sharif, in the case of Benazir Bhutto. And Imran Khan also is not challenging military's involvement in politics. What he wants is that military on his side. In fact, no political party in Pakistan is challenging the hybrid model. All they want to do is to pressurize the military and strike a deal with them and return to power. So within the system, all the political parties, they have a consensus to keep this hybrid model of our political system intact, and in which they have a share of power, but the major share of the power is among the non-democratic forces.
Yeah, but Imran Khan doesn't seem to be willing to play ball, Tahir Malik. And that's the problem, isn't it?
No, but Imran Khan is constitutionally, we cannot avoid elections. Elections are bound to happen. And Imran Khan has fair chance, as we have seen in by-elections. Imran Khan and his party won all the elections. So he's he's avoiding his arrest and his imprisonment, which I think historically in India, you see corruption, criminalization of politics, political vendetta. It is quite common in India and Pakistan. But here is a leader who has developed a fear of imprisonment or being arrested. I think it's when you are in politics, it's very natural that when you are out of power, there are no independent institution, police is against you, state machinery is against you. So you have to, and if he says, what is his message? His message is, when you should fight, and you should fight against the system, while he is hiding in his comfort zone, just tweeting and using Instagram posts. What is your struggle against the
Okay, Bharat Karnad,
in comfort zone,
the difference that Bharat Karnad, the difference in the Indian system is finally the judiciary, and everyone has faith in the judiciary. Even right now, you have politicians crying hoarse against charges against them, but eventually, what is clear is clear. Over here, how do you think it's going to end for Imran Khan?
Are you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. Karnad, that question's for you.
No, so how is it going to end for Imran Khan? Where, in Pakistan?
Yes.
I'm asking a question. Is that what you wanted to ask?
Yes,
sorry,
that is what I'm asking. How is this standoff going to end for Imran Khan?
Okay. Well, look, the standoff can only ends the way the Pakistan army wants it to end. Meaning they are trying desperately hard, along with the Shahbaz Sharif government and the coalition partners, Radari and others, to minimize Imran's role politically. And now, however they managed to do that, Toshakhana is a fairly trivial case in the sense that most other officers who held the post and others who have had access to the Toshakhana really availed of themselves of these gifts, state gifts, etc. It was virtually standard operating procedure for them to pocket watches and so on.
Right.
So this is a fairly trivial matter in that sense, relatively speaking. But it is nevertheless provides the army and the opposition, political opposition, with the hook on which to hang Imran Khan, courtesy the courts. And I think, in some sense, Imran is playing into their game by not surrendering and by being, playing, doing escapades and hiding here and there, being a bit of a Scarlet Pimpernel. So, you know, I mean, that might be very adventurous and so on. But the fact is, if he's asking his followers to face the bullets and the tear gas and so on, while he himself, as the Pakistani gentleman mentioned, is hiding in safety somewhere, it doesn't really increase his credibility as a leader. So that may not be, that's the kind of side effects that the army hopes will in time begin to, you know, decrease Imran's political value.
His popularity. Yeah, yeah. Tahir Malik, you know, made a comparison there between India and Pakistan in terms of, you know, politicians out of power, then finding themselves at the receiving end. But Mr. Malik, the key difference over there is that the rule of law is actually working here. And we're seeing that happen. So I think that's an important clarification we need to make. Yes.
Yeah, I agree, but in India we have seen the imposition of emergency under Indira Gandhi, and so we both have similar states, but Indian institutions are far more stronger, and they have there is no history of military intervention. I accept that, but there are challenges to democracy in India too. Look at the raid by the BJP government.
Let me come to the no, Indian institutions are much stronger, and it's actually, frankly, not in the ambit of this discussion. So I'm not sure why you've dragged that in. But let me get Michael Kugelman now in on where this endgame goes. There's a quote from the Interior Minister of Pakistan saying that he will be arrested tonight. What happens next, Michael Kugelman, in your view?
Yeah, as I said before, it depends on how the arrest happens. If it happens, and it looks like there's a good chance. If Khan willingly gives himself up voluntarily, I think that would reduce the chances of a major escalation. But if he's dragged out of his house forcibly, you know, that could really fire up his supporters and lead to more instability. And I think the bigger question is, if he is arrested, how long is he arrested? My view is that he would not be arrested for a long time. And again, that's something that would be de-escalatory. But absolutely, I think it's important to note here that, you know, at least the senior army leadership, the senior military leadership, I think wants to move on from Khan. He's no longer the favorite son. And I think that there's going to be an effort on the part of the state to try to make it very difficult for Khan to be in a position to successfully contest the next national election in Pakistan, whenever that happens. And, you know, an arrest certainly would be one way to get him out of the way. There's also been a speculation that the courts, presumably with pressure from the state, could be trying to prepare some type of ruling that would disqualify Khan from contesting the next election, or pardon me, disqualify him from politics for the next election, or even for life. So, you know, I think that whereas Khan definitely retains significant levels of support within the lower and middle ranks of the army, at the very top, I think the view is to move on. They don't want to try to do him any favors anymore. So, you know, there's a lot of uncertainties about how things are going to play out today and over the next few weeks. But for now, at least, I think that, you know, Khan is really going to face some major challenges because the top army leadership are not behind him. And as we know from Pakistani political history, if you're a civilian political figure and you want to seek the top political slot in the country, you're certainly helped in a big way by having backing from the army, from the top levels of the army, which Khan does not have right now.
And you know, you're seeing that in practice. If you don't have backing from the army, your public support means nothing. The rule of law means nothing. Some updates coming in. Nawaz Sharif has tweeted saying Imran Khan, who is sitting in the circus because of the fear of arrest, if there was a person full of bravery and honor in his place, he would have drowned in shame. It's actually a translation from Urdu. There's also a quote from Shah Mahmood Qureshi saying Imran Khan may offer voluntary arrest. He's, of course, from his party. And the PTI, that's his party, has called for nationwide protests as he faces arrest. So this is quite a fluid situation as is developing, but we'll leave this here. Thank you to all of you for joining us on the lead story this evening on Beyond the Headline.